The history of ancient Egypt is long and fascinating. At the heart of this story are the pharaohs, considered living gods. Around 3000 BC, Egypt was divided into two kingdoms. A powerful king named Nama emerged from Upper Egypt. He conquered Lower Egypt and unified the two lands, marking the beginning of the early dynastic period. Nama established the capital at Memphis, a strategically important city near the Nile Delta. The early dynastic period was a time of great change and innovation. A writing system developed, and art and architecture flourished. The pharaohs established a centralized government, laying the foundation for Egypt's future greatness. Nama's unification of Egypt remains a pivotal moment in history. The Old Kingdom, around 2686 to 2181 BC, is synonymous with pyramid construction. The pharaohs of the Old Kingdom were obsessed with the afterlife. The pyramids were not just tombs, they were also powerful symbols of the pharaoh's authority. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built by the pharaoh Khufu, is the most famous example of Old Kingdom architecture. The construction of these massive structures required tremendous resources and manpower. Thousands of workers labored for decades to build these monuments. Towards the end of the period, the power of the pharaohs waned, leading to the first intermediate period. The legacy of the Old Kingdom, particularly its monumental architecture, continues to captivate the imagination. Following the first intermediate period, Egypt experienced a resurgence of power during the Middle Kingdom. This era witnessed a renewed emphasis on prosperity, expansion, and the arts. Mentuhotep II reunited Egypt and established a new dynasty. The Middle Kingdom saw a flowering of art, literature, and architecture. Pharaohs expanded Egypt's territory through military campaigns. The Hyksos arrival marked the second intermediate period. The New Kingdom, around 1550 to 1069 BC, represents the pinnacle of ancient Egyptian civilization. The New Kingdom pharaohs expelled the Hyksos and embarked on a period of aggressive expansion. This era witnessed the reigns of some of Egypt's most famous pharaohs, including Hatshepsut, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, and Ramses II. Hatshepsut expanded trade and commissioned ambitious building projects. Akhenaten initiated a religious revolution, attempting to replace the traditional pantheon of gods with a single deity, the Aten. Ramses II, often regarded as the greatest pharaoh of the New Kingdom, ruled for 66 years. He is known for his military prowess and massive building program. The New Kingdom was a time of unprecedented wealth, military might, and cultural achievement. The New Kingdom, around 1550 to 1069 BC, represents the pinnacle of ancient Egyptian civilization. Pharaohs expelled the Hyksos and expanded aggressively. Famous pharaohs included Hatshepsut, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, and Ramses II. Hatshepsut expanded trade and built ambitiously. Akhenaten initiated a religious revolution. Ramses II ruled for 66 years, known for military prowess and building. The New Kingdom was a time of wealth, military might, and cultural achievement. Despite the splendor and power of the New Kingdom, Egypt eventually succumbed to internal strife and external pressures. The Third Intermediate Period, around 1069 to 664 BC, saw Egypt fragmented and weakened. The conquest of Egypt by Alexander the Great in 332 BC marked the end of the Pharaonic era. After Alexander's death, Egypt fell under the rule of the Ptolemaic dynasty. The last Ptolemaic ruler, Cleopatra VII, ended her own life following the defeat of her forces by the Roman Emperor Octavian in 30 BC. With the death of Cleopatra, Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire. The legacy of the pharaohs lived on in the magnificent monuments, temples, and tombs they left behind.
The dawn of a new era, Narmer and the unification of Egypt, the River Nile, a lifeblood. For millennia it has sustained a civilization. This is the story of that civilization, the story of Egypt. Our journey begins around 3100 BC. A king named Narmer emerges from Upper Egypt. He is a strong leader, a skilled warrior. Narmer sets his sights on Lower Egypt. He seeks to unite the two lands. The details of the conquest are shrouded in time, but the outcome is clear. Narmer is victorious. He becomes the first pharaoh of a unified Egypt. This event marks the beginning of the early dynastic period, a time of innovation and development. Narmer establishes Memphis as the capital. This strategic location helps control both the north and south. He creates a centralized government. This brings stability and order to the newly unified land. Narmer's reign lays the foundation for a remarkable civilization. He establishes the pharaoh as a divine ruler, a god-king. This concept will shape Egyptian culture for centuries to come. The unification under Narmer marks a pivotal moment. It is the beginning of Egypt's long and illustrious history. Pyramids and power, the Old Kingdom's legacy. The Old Kingdom, a time of prosperity and innovation. It begins around 2686 BC with the Third Dynasty. This era witnesses the rise of the pharaoh's absolute power. They are considered living gods. They control all aspects of life. This period sees the construction of Egypt's most iconic monuments, the pyramids. These colossal structures are tombs for the pharaohs. They are a testament to their power and wealth. The most famous pyramid is the Great Pyramid of Giza. It is built by Pharaoh Khufu. This incredible feat of engineering remains a wonder of the ancient world. It stands as a symbol of Egyptian ingenuity. It takes thousands of laborers years to build these pyramids. They use simple tools but complex techniques. The pyramids are more than just tombs. They are a symbol of Egyptian belief in the afterlife. The pharaohs are buried with treasures and provisions. They believe these will be needed in the next life. The Old Kingdom is a time of great cultural advancement. Writing and art flourish. The Egyptians develop a sophisticated system of hieroglyphics. They create stunning artwork in tombs and temples. This art depicts scenes from daily life, mythology, and the afterlife. The Old Kingdom lays the foundation for Egypt's future greatness. It is a period of unparalleled achievement. A time of upheaval and renewal, the First Intermediate Period. Nothing lasts forever. After centuries of stability, the Old Kingdom weakens. By 2181 BC, it collapses. Egypt enters a period of turmoil known as the First Intermediate Period. Central authority breaks down. Rival dynasties compete for power. The country is divided. Chaos reigns. Yet, even in this time of strife, Egyptian culture endures. Local rulers continued to build temples and tombs. They commissioned works of art and literature. This period sees the development of new religious ideas. People begin to question the absolute power of the pharaohs. They seek a more personal connection to the divine. This shift in religious thought will have a profound impact on Egyptian society. It paves the way for the Middle Kingdom's resurgence. Restoring order and prosperity. The Middle Kingdom. From the ashes of the first intermediate period, a new dynasty rises. The Middle Kingdom begins around 2055 BC. Mentuhotep II reunites Egypt. He establishes Thebes as the new capital. The Middle Kingdom is a period of renewed prosperity and stability. Pharaohs expand their control south into Nubia. They secure trade routes. This brings wealth and resources into Egypt. The Middle Kingdom witnesses a flourishing of art and literature. One of the most famous works is the tale of Sinuhe. This story tells of a court official's adventures in exile. It provides a glimpse into Egyptian life and values. Pharaohs of the Middle Kingdom focus on improving the lives of their people. They build irrigation canals and granaries. They promote justice and order. The Middle Kingdom is a golden age for Egypt, but it too will eventually fade. Section 5. Golden Age of Empire, the New Kingdom's rise. The second intermediate period marks another period of instability. Foreign invaders, the Hyksos, conquer much of Egypt, but the Egyptians are a resilient people. They rise up against their oppressors. Around 1550 BC, Ahmose I expels the Hyksos. He inaugurates the New Kingdom. This era marks the zenith of Egyptian power and influence. The New Kingdom is an age of empire. Pharaohs, such as Thutmose III, lead their armies to victory. They conquer vast territories in Nubia, Syria, and Canaan. Egypt becomes a dominant force in the ancient Near East. The New Kingdom is also a time of great cultural achievement. Pharaohs commission magnificent temples and tombs. They patronize the arts and literature. This is the era of some of Egypt's most famous pharaohs. Rulers like Hatshepsut, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, and Ramses II leave an indelible mark on history. Section 6. A Woman in a Man's World. The reign of Hatshepsut, one of Egypt's most remarkable rulers. She is a woman in a man's world. She rules as pharaoh for over 2 decades. Hatshepsut is the daughter of Thutmose I. She becomes regent for her stepson, Thutmose III, but she soon assumes full power. She takes on the title of pharaoh. She is depicted in statues and reliefs as a male king. She wears the pharaoh's beard and kilt. Hatshepsut's reign is a time of peace and prosperity. She focuses on trade and diplomacy. She launches ambitious building projects. Her most famous monument is the temple at Deir el-Bahri. It is a masterpiece of architecture. Hatshepsut's reign is a testament to her intelligence and ambition. She is a powerful and effective ruler. She leaves a lasting legacy. Section 7. The Heretic King, Akhenaten's Religious Revolution. Akhenaten, Hatshepsut's grandson, is a radical pharaoh. He initiates a religious revolution. He abandons the traditional Egyptian gods. He introduces the worship of Aten. Aten is a single god. He is represented by the sun disk. Akhenaten moves the capital to a new city. He calls it Akhetaten. It is known today as Amarna. He builds temples dedicated to Aten. He promotes a new artistic style. It is more naturalistic. It breaks from traditional conventions. Akhenaten's reforms are unpopular. They are met with resistance, especially from the priests of the old gods. They lose their power and influence. After Akhenaten's death, his reforms are reversed. Egypt returns to its traditional beliefs. Akhenaten's reign is a brief but fascinating episode. It is a time of religious and artistic experimentation. Section 8. Ramses the Great, a pharaoh for the ages. Ramses II, perhaps the most famous pharaoh of all. He reigns for 66 years. He is a prolific builder. He constructs massive temples. He erects colossal statues of himself. He expands the empire through military campaigns. He fights a famous battle against the Hittites at Kadesh. It is one of the first recorded battles in history. Ramses II is a master of propaganda. He uses art and architecture to promote his image. He wants to be remembered as a great and powerful ruler. He succeeds. His name becomes synonymous with ancient Egypt. His reign is considered the last peak of Egyptian power. Section 9, a slow decline, internal strife and external threats. After Ramses II, Egypt begins a slow decline. Internal strife weakens the kingdom, external threats emerge. The Libyans to the west pose a constant challenge. The Nubians to the south regain their independence. The Assyrians and Persians to the east rise in power. They threaten Egypt's borders. The late period sees a succession of weak pharaohs. They are unable to prevent the decline. Egypt is conquered by the Persians in 525 BC. The Persian Empire falls to Alexander the Great in 332 BC. Egypt comes under Greek rule. It becomes part of the Ptolemaic kingdom. Section 10, their last pharaoh Cleopatra and the end of an era. The Ptolemaic dynasty rules Egypt for almost 300 years. The most famous ruler of this period is Cleopatra VII. She is a shrewd politician. She is a skilled diplomat. She forms alliances with powerful Roman generals. She tries to preserve Egypt's independence, but her efforts are in vain. Rome is too strong. In 30 BC, Cleopatra and her lover, Mark Antony, are defeated by Octavian at the Battle of Actium. Cleopatra commits suicide. Egypt becomes a province of the Roman Empire. The pharaonic era comes to an end. Section 11, an enduring legacy, the pharaohs in history and memory. The pharaohs of ancient Egypt ruled for over 3,000 years. They left behind a legacy of stunning achievements. Their pyramids and temples still stand today. They are a testament to their power and ingenuity. Their art and literature continue to fascinate and inspire us. Their beliefs about the afterlife shaped their culture. Their influence can still be felt today. The pharaohs may be gone, but they are not forgotten. Their story is a reminder of the greatness that humanity can achieve. It is a story of power. It is a story of faith. It is a story of human ingenuity. It is a story that continues to capture the imagination of the world.
The Asante Empire emerged from the Akan people in the forest zone of what is now Ghana. Before the Asante, several Akan states existed. These states were often at war with each other. One powerful state was Denkira, which dominated its neighbors. In the late 17th century, a new leader named Osei Tutu rose to prominence. He was the ruler of the small Asante state of Kumasi. Osei Tutu sought to unite the Akan states against Denkira's rule. He forged alliances with neighboring Akan states. Through diplomacy and military skill, he built a strong coalition. In 1701, the Asante, led by Osei Tutu, confronted Denkira in a decisive battle. The Asante victory marked the beginning of their empire. This victory also established the Asante as the dominant power in the region. The Asante Empire was born from the ashes of Denkira's dominance. This newly formed empire would go on to become a major force in West Africa. The Asante people, united under Osei Tutu's leadership, embarked on a period of expansion and prosperity. Their story is one of ambition, military might, and complex political organization. Osei Tutu I is considered the founder of the Asante Empire. He was a skilled military leader and a shrewd politician. He established the administrative and military structures of the Asante state. One of his most significant innovations was the creation of the Asante Confederacy. This was a union of Akan states under the Asante Hene, the supreme ruler. Each state within the Confederacy maintained some autonomy. However, they were bound to the Asante Hene by oaths of allegiance and tribute. Osei Tutu also introduced new military techniques and weapons. He acquired firearms through trade with the Europeans on the coast. This gave the Asante a significant advantage over their rivals. With these weapons, the Asante army became a formidable force. Osei Tutu's reign lasted until 1770. During this time, he laid the foundation for the Asante Empire's expansion and dominance. His legacy as a visionary leader and a nation builder solidified his place in Asante history. He is remembered as the first Asante Hene and the father of his nation. The Asante Empire's wealth was legendary. Their economy was based on trade. Gold was the most important commodity. The Asante controlled vast gold fields. They extracted the gold and traded it with merchants from the north and the coast. Kola nuts were another important trade good. These nuts were highly valued as a stimulant. The Asante traded kola nuts with their northern neighbors. They also traded enslaved people captured in wars. This trade brought in additional revenue. The Asante developed a complex system of markets and trade routes. Kumasi, the capital, became a major trading center. Merchants from all over West Africa flocked to Kumasi's bustling markets. The wealth generated from trade fueled the Asante Empire's growth. The Asante also used their wealth to support their military. They purchased weapons and other supplies from European traders. This gave them a technological edge over their rivals. The combination of trade and military power made the Asante Empire a force to be reckoned with. At the heart of the Asante political and spiritual beliefs lies the golden stool, known as Sika Dwa Kofi. According to legend, the stool descended from the heavens. A powerful priest, Okomfo Anokie, commanded it to land on the lap of Osei Tutu during a gathering of Akan chiefs. This event cemented Osei Tutu's authority as the Asante Hene. The stool is believed to embody the soul of the Asante nation. It is the ultimate symbol of Asante unity and authority. The golden stool is not merely a throne. It is a sacred object. It represents the spirit and power of the Asante people. The Asante Hene never sits directly on the golden stool. It is housed in a special chamber and brought out only on important occasions. The golden stool's significance to the Asante cannot be overstated. It is central to their identity and their history. Its story underscores the spiritual underpinnings of Asante political power. Section 5. Conflicts and conquests, shaping the Asante hegemony. The Asante Empire's history is one of expansion and conquest. Driven by the desire for wealth and power, the Asante engaged in numerous wars with their neighbors. They sought to expand their territory and control trade routes. One of their most significant conflicts was with the Denkyira. The Asante victory over Denkyira in 1701 marked the beginning of their empire. They also fought with other Akan states, such as the Akiem, Akwamu, and Fante. The Asante army was renowned for its discipline and organization. They employed advanced military tactics and weaponry. Their use of firearms, acquired through trade with Europeans, gave them an advantage. The Asante also used psychological warfare. They were known for their fierce war drums and intimidating war cries. Through a combination of military prowess, strategic alliances, and diplomacy, the Asante expanded the empire. By the mid-18th century, the Asante Empire encompassed a vast territory in present-day Ghana and parts of neighboring countries. Section 6. The clash with a global power. the Anglo-Ashanti Wars. The arrival of the British on the Gold Coast in the 19th century introduced a new chapter in the Asante Empire's history. Initially, relations between the Asante and the British were primarily trade-focused. However, tensions grew as the British expanded their influence inland. The Anglo-Ashanti Wars, a series of conflicts spanning over a century, were rooted in these tensions. The British sought to control trade routes and resources, while the Asante defended their sovereignty and resisted British encroachment. There were a total of 6 major Anglo-Ashanti wars. Each war had its own complexities and outcomes. The Asante demonstrated their military prowess, inflicting heavy casualties on the British. However, the British, with their superior weaponry and resources, gradually gained the upper hand. The wars were marked by moments of Asante resilience and strategic victories. For example, the War of the Golden Stool, which began in 1900, was triggered by the British governor's demand to sit on the Golden Stool. This demand was a grave offense to the Asante, who fiercely resisted. Section 7. Resistance and resilience, the struggle for autonomy. Despite facing a formidable foe in the British, the Asante never surrendered their desire for self-determination. They resisted British rule through various means. One notable figure in this resistance was Ya Asantewa. As the Queen Mother of Ejisu, a prominent Asante state, she rallied the Asante against British rule during the War of the Golden Stool. Her bravery and leadership made her a powerful symbol of Asante resistance. The Asante also employed diplomatic strategies. They sent delegations to Britain to negotiate for their autonomy. However, the British government remained committed to expanding its colonial control. Despite the odds, the Asante continued to resist. They staged uprisings and rebellions. They preserved their cultural traditions and social structures. The spirit of resistance became ingrained in the Asante identity. Section 8. From colony to independence, the Asante in modern Ghana. The 20th century brought about significant changes in the political landscape of Africa. The movement for independence swept across the continent, and the Gold Coast, under the leadership of Kwame Nkrumah, was no exception. In 1956, the Gold Coast gained independence from Britain. The Asante, recognizing the importance of unity for the newly independent nation, agreed to join the new state of Ghana. This decision marked the end of the Asante Empire as a sovereign entity. However, the Asante Kingdom, under the leadership of the Asantehene, continued to exist as a subnational traditional authority within Ghana. The Asantehene, while no longer holding political power in the same way as during the empire, remained an influential figure. The Asante people played an active role in shaping the new nation of Ghana. They contributed to the country's political, economic, and cultural development. Their history and traditions continued to shape their identity. Section 9. The legacy of Asanteman: culture, tradition, and influence. The Asante Empire left an enduring legacy. Their culture, traditions, and history continue to influence Ghana and the world. The Asante are known for their rich artistic heritage, particularly in weaving, pottery, and goldsmithing. Kente cloth a vibrantly colored and intricately woven fabric, is perhaps the most recognizable symbol of Asante craftsmanship. Originally worn by royalty, Kente cloth has gained international acclaim for its beauty and cultural significance. The Asante language, Twi, is widely spoken in Ghana and serves as a unifying factor for many Ghanaians. Their music and dance traditions are vibrant expressions of their cultural identity. The Asante political system, with its emphasis on consensus building and the balance of power, has also left its mark. The Asantehene's role as a custodian of tradition and a symbol of unity continues to be significant. The story of the Asante Empire is a testament to the human spirit's capacity for innovation, resilience, and cultural preservation. Their legacy serves as a reminder of the complexities of African history, the impact of colonialism, and the enduring power of cultural identity. Picture the African continent. Now, trace your finger along the western coast until you reach a country shaped like a question mark, leaning against the Atlantic Ocean. This is Nigeria, a land teeming with life, a kaleidoscope of colors, sounds, and stories waiting to be told. Over 250 distinct ethnic groups call this land home, each contributing to a cultural tapestry so rich and intricate. The air thrums with the melodic cadence of Yoruba, the rhythmic flow of Igbo, and the guttural pronouncements of Hausa. The result is a cultural fusion unlike any other, a blend of ancient traditions, Islamic influences, and the legacy of European colonialism. To understand Nigeria, one must embrace its diversity, its contradictions, and its sheer, unbridled energy. The year is 1914. The British Empire redraws the map of Africa, creating Nigeria. This act, driven by economic interest, had lasting consequences. The British imposed a singular identity on diverse cultures. Nigeria became a patchwork of protectorates. Traditional power structures were undermined for resource extraction. The British introduced new ideas and institutions. Christianity and Western education began shaping Nigerian elites. The legacy of British colonialism is complex. It brought advancements, but also deep divisions. Divide and rule policies left a lasting mark. Tension simmered beneath the surface. Independence in 1960 brought new challenges. The struggle to forge a national identity began. October 1st, 1960 marked a pivotal moment in Nigeria's history. As the Union Jack was lowered and the green and white flag of an independent Nigeria fluttered, a collective roar of jubilation echoed across the nation. A new era had dawned, filled with hope and aspiration. Nigeria, the giant of Africa, had awakened.
Long before European footsteps reached Nigeria, a rich tapestry of life unfolded across its diverse landscapes. Powerful empires rose, magnificent cities thrived, and cultures interacted and clashed.
Imagine a land where the air buzzed with the energy of 1,000 stories yet to be written. The savannas of the north bore witness to the rise and fall of empires. The Hausa people established flourishing city-states like Kano and Katsina. These cities became centers of Islamic learning, attracting scholars and traders.
Imagine the rhythmic cadence of camels' hooves, the scent of exotic spices, and the murmur of prayers. Trade routes connected distant cultures and shaped empires.
Further south, the Yoruba people carved out their destiny amidst forests and hills. Ile-Ife, a city steeped in myth, was the cradle of Yoruba heritage. Skilled artisans crafted exquisite bronze sculptures, capturing Yoruba cosmology.
Imagine the glow of molten metal and the pride of craftsmen creating timeless art. The Yoruba civilization, with its powerful kings and elaborate rituals, flourished for centuries.
In the southeast, the Igbo people developed a distinct identity rooted in agriculture and trade. Their communities were governed by councils of elders.
Imagine the vibrant energy of village markets and the passionate storytelling passed down through generations.
Kingdoms of gold and glory.
The Benin Empire, rising in the 13th century, showcased pre-colonial Nigeria's splendor. Mastery of bronze casting and ivory carving captivated European explorers.
Imagine a city adorned with bronze plaques depicting Benin's history and rituals. The Oba ruled with absolute authority, his court a spectacle of grandeur.
The Benin Empire commanded respect with its powerful army and trade networks.
The Benin Empire was not alone in its pursuit of glory. The Oyo Empire, with its renowned cavalry, emerged as a dominant force. The Alafin commanded a vast army, extending influence across southwestern Nigeria. The Oyo Empire's legacy endures in the cultural practices of the Yoruba people today. The arrival of shadows. The arrival of European powers in the 15th century marked a turning point, casting a long shadow over Nigeria's destiny. Drawn by trade in spices, ivory, and gold, European merchants soon turned to a more sinister commodity: human beings. The transatlantic slave trade left an indelible scar on Africa. Millions endured unimaginable horrors, torn from their homelands. The impact on West African societies was profound and devastating. In Nigeria, the slave trade devastated coastal kingdoms and empires. The Benin Empire, once powerful, was weakened by constant raids and warfare. The Oyo Empire also suffered, its army weakened by internal conflicts and slave raids. The slave trade decimated populations and disrupted economies. European powers interfered in African affairs, sowing seeds of future conflicts. Their arrival marked the beginning of a painful chapter leading to colonial rule. The soul of Nigeria. To truly grasp the essence of Nigeria, one must delve into the heart of its people. Each group carries within its traditions, languages, and beliefs, the echoes of ancient stories.
In the north, the Hausa Fulani stand as a testament to the enduring power of faith and tradition. Imagine the bustling marketplaces of Kano and Sokoto, a symphony of aromas that speaks to the fusion of cultures.
The Hausa, known for their centuries-old trading networks, brought with them the teachings of Islam. Their intricate textile designs reflect the influence of Arabic art and the legacy of trans-Saharan trade.
The Fulani, often depicted as nomadic herdsmen, embody a deep connection to the land and their cattle. Their lives are a testament to resilience, dictated by the seasons and the search for grazing pastures.
This fusion of Hausa and Fulani cultures created a powerful force in northern Nigeria. But the north is just one chapter in the Nigerian story. Journey south and you'll encounter the Yoruba, known for their vibrant culture and deep reverence for their ancestors. Section 2. Rhythms of Unity and Discord. Nigeria's ethnic diversity is both its greatest strength and its most persistent challenge. It's a source of incredible cultural richness, a tapestry woven from countless traditions, languages, and beliefs. The national question revolves around this central dilemma. How can a nation forged from such diverse ethnic groups achieve true unity? It's a question that has haunted Nigeria since its independence. Yet, amidst the challenges, there's a deep-seated yearning for unity. This desire for a united Nigeria transcends ethnic boundaries. Section 3. The weight of heritage. The Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria carry a legacy of resilience and entrepreneurial spirit. Imagine the bustling markets of Onitsha and Aba, where traders haggle over prices. The Igbo have made significant contributions to Nigeria's economic development. They also bear the weight of history, marked by the trauma of the Biafran War.
Despite challenges, the Igbo spirit remains unbroken. The weight of heritage shapes the identities and aspirations of all Nigerians. It's a burden and a blessing, a source of pride and pain.
Section 1. Faith's Embrace. Imagine the call to prayer echoing across the ancient city of Kano, its melody washing over the labyrinthine alleyways of the Kurmi market. In Nigeria, faith is woven into the very fabric of daily life. This is a land where the rhythms of prayer punctuate the day. In the north, Islam reigns supreme, a legacy of centuries-old trade routes.
The great mosques of Kano, Sokoto, and Zaria stand as architectural marvels. Here, life revolves around the 5 pillars of Islam.
But Nigeria's spiritual landscape is far from monolithic. Travel south and you'll encounter a predominantly Christian population. From the mega churches of Lagos to the humble village churches, Christianity has flourished. It's in the south that you'll find the syncretic blend of Christianity and traditional beliefs. Section 2, where faiths collide. Nigeria's religious tapestry, while vibrant and multifaceted, is not without its tensions. The fault lines between the predominantly Muslim North and the largely Christian South are a constant source of concern, exacerbated by political opportunism and extremist ideologies. The rise of Boko Haram, a militant Islamist group operating in the northeast, has thrown the fragility of this religious balance into sharp relief. Since its emergence in the early 2000s, Boko Haram's violent campaign to establish an Islamic caliphate in northern Nigeria has claimed thousands of lives and displaced millions more. Their attacks on churches, mosques, schools, and villages have left an indelible scar on a nation's psyche, a reminder of how easily faith can be twisted to serve nefarious ends. But it's not just the specter of extremism that casts a shadow over Nigeria's religious landscape. The competition for resources, political power, and social influence often plays out along religious lines. In some regions, particularly in the Middle Belt, where the Muslim North meets the Christian South, religious differences have fueled intercommunal conflicts over land, grazing rights, and political representation. The politicization of religion, with politicians often exploiting religious sentiments for electoral gain, further complicates the picture. This manipulation of faith for political ends deepens existing divisions, making it even more challenging to build bridges of understanding and tolerance. Section 3. Beyond the divide. Despite the challenges posed by religious tensions, there are flickers of hope, signs that a more tolerant and inclusive Nigeria is possible. Across the country, interfaith dialogue initiatives are working tirelessly to bridge the divide, fostering understanding and respect between different religious communities.
Imagine a group of young people, Muslims and Christians, sitting together in a circle, sharing their personal stories of faith, challenging stereotypes, and discovering common ground.
This grassroots efforts, often led by religious leaders, women's groups, and youth organizations, are crucial in countering the narratives of division and promoting a shared sense of Nigerian identity.
There are also countless examples of everyday Nigerians transcending religious boundaries in their daily lives. Muslims and Christians often live side by side in peace, their children attending the same schools, their families sharing meals and celebrations.
This spirit of coexistence, while often overshadowed by the headlines of conflict, is the true heart of Nigeria, a testament to the enduring human capacity for empathy and understanding.
The challenge for Nigeria is to nurture these seeds of tolerance, to create a society where religious freedom is not only protected, but celebrated. It's a long and arduous journey, one that requires a commitment to dialogue, education, and justice.
Section 1. Black Gold untarnished dreams. The discovery of oil in the Niger Delta in the 1950s was both a blessing and a curse for Nigeria. It held the promise of prosperity, of transforming a fledgling nation into an economic powerhouse. But beneath the veneer of progress, a darker reality was unfolding. The Niger Delta was becoming a land of sacrifice. Its once pristine waters were choked with oil spills, and its people found their livelihoods destroyed, their health compromised. The oil boom enriched a select few, bypassing the majority. The black gold, once a symbol of hope, had tarnished, leaving behind a legacy of environmental devastation and social unrest. The Niger Delta, a paradise on earth, now a polluted wasteland. Its fertile lands and waters once sustained generations. Oil transformed this ecosystem into a wasteland.
Villages now reek of crude oil. Waters shimmer with slicks. Millions live with the relentless pursuit of black gold.
Oil spills have catastrophic impacts on the ecosystem. Fish stocks plummeted, farmlands infertile, water contaminated. Health consequences are dire, with rising illnesses. The tragedy of Nigeria's oil wealth is not just the environmental devastation, it's the corrosive effect of oil money on the nation's political and social fabric. Oil wealth has become an addiction, distorting priorities and fueling corruption. Imagine a nation where the national budget is held hostage to the global oil market. Politicians see oil revenues as a personal piggy bank. This is Nigeria's resource curse, a recipe for instability and underdevelopment. Despite the seemingly insurmountable challenges posed by the oil curse, there are glimmers of hope, seeds of change taking root in the fertile ground of Nigeria's entrepreneurial spirit. While the oil sector has languished, other sectors of the economy, fueled by the ingenuity and resilience of its people, are showing signs of life.
Imagine a bustling tech hub in Lagos, where young Nigerians, armed with laptops and smartphones, are coding their way to a brighter future. This is the face of Nigeria's burgeoning tech scene, a sector brimming with potential and attracting the attention of global investors.
Beyond the tech sector, there's a renewed focus on diversifying the economy, on harnessing the potential of agriculture, manufacturing, and tourism. The government, under pressure from citizens and civil society organizations, is beginning to implement reforms aimed at improving transparency and accountability in the oil sector.
The journey towards a more diversified and equitable Nigeria will be long and arduous. It will require a fundamental shift in mindset, from a culture of dependence on oil to one that embraces innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainable development. It will also require a commitment to good governance, transparency, and accountability, ensuring that the nation's resources benefit all Nigerians, not just a privileged few.
Nigeria is a nation in perpetual motion, where migration is as constant as the Harmattan winds. From rural villages to Lagos, people move, driven by hope and the search for a better life.
Imagine a young man from the north boarding a bus to Lagos filled with ambition. He dreams of Lagos, where opportunities abound.
This migration is driven by the allure of urban centers like Lagos and Abuja. Economic disparities push people to seek better lives in cities.
But city life can be harsh, with many struggling in slums.
Yet, resilience endures. Nigerians adapt, thrive, and build supportive communities. The Nigerian diaspora, scattered across the globe, represents dreams, ambitions, and the bittersweet reality of leaving one's homeland. For generations, Nigerians have sought opportunities beyond their borders, driven by economic hardship and the lure of education.
Imagine a young woman excited and anxious, bidding farewell at Murtala Mohammed International Airport. She's earned a scholarship to study abroad, a golden ticket to a world of possibilities.
From London to New York, Toronto to Houston, Nigerians excel in medicine, academia, business, and the arts. They've built successful careers and become powerful voices for change, advocating for human rights and social justice. The pull of home is a powerful force for many Nigerians living abroad. It's in the cadence of their mother tongue, the aroma of spices, and the vibrant colors of festivals.
Imagine a professional returning to Nigeria, drawn by the desire to give back. They bring experience, knowledge, and a desire to contribute.
This reverse migration is injecting new life into the nation. From tech entrepreneurs to healthcare professionals, Nigerians in the diaspora are returning with fresh perspectives and innovative ideas. Nigeria is a land of complexities, a symphony of contradictions, a nation perpetually in conversation with its past, present, and future. It's a place where ancient traditions dance alongside modern aspirations, where the weight of history can feel both stifling and empowering. It's tempting, perhaps even easy, to look at Nigeria through a lens of despair, to focus on the headlines of corruption, conflict, and inequality. But to do so would be to miss the essence of this extraordinary nation, to overlook the indomitable spirit of its people, their resilience, their creativity, and their unwavering belief in a brighter tomorrow. Nigeria, for all its challenges, stands at a crossroads. The path ahead is not preordained. It will be shaped by the choices made today, by the collective will of its people, and by their unwavering commitment to building a more just, equitable, and prosperous nation. The journey won't be easy. It will require confronting uncomfortable truths, dismantling systems of oppression and healing the wounds of the past. But amidst the uncertainties, there's a palpable sense of hope, a belief that change is within reach, that Nigeria's next chapter will be one of progress, unity, and fulfillment. The giant has awakened, and the world watches with bated breath, eager to witness the unfolding of its destiny.